We wish to thank H. Fendrick Incorporated for kindly relinquishing half their broadcast period in order that you may hear a description of the World Series game. Charles Wood speaking. Smoke Dreams, originating in the studios of the Nation Station, came to you through the facilities of the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
This is station WMAQ, Chicago. In 10 seconds, it will be 12:45 Central Standard Time, and now for the World Series baseball game.
We take you now to the Polo Grounds.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is George Hicks of the NBC, speaking now from the Polo Grounds in New York City. We're about to witness the beginning of the fifth game of the World Series between the New York Yankees and the New York Giants, with the series now standing 3-1 in the Yankees' favor, and a victory today for the Yankees, a clinching of the pennant and the championship by winning the first 4 out of 7. The biggest news this morning that we have is that the weather is wet and chilly, but it's not going to rain this afternoon, and the game is going on. The laughter you just heard a moment ago was for Shack, who's down on third base now with his baseball uniform on today. No swimming suit today, it's too cold, but still with his tailcoat with the red lapels and his silk hat. And he's warming up with the remnant of the Yankee infield. The regular infield has come in now, and Coach Fletcher is driving balls down at Shack at third, and Glenn, the catcher, and Shack engage in a little hot hand as they get closer and closer to each other on the third base line. But to get back to the game, the weather, well, last night in New York it started raining, and it rained most of the night. It was raining this morning in that steady, light, but consistent way it has in late fall. And up till noon, we were still having rain and a heavy overcast sky and the wind coming in from the north, and it looked like a pretty bad day for football, let alone for a World Series game. But Judge Landis came up to the park, and it wasn't until 12:30 that he made his decision and decided to have the game played. And it's for the benefit, of course, of the fans who had planned to see big league ball and World Series ball this Sunday. I'm very happy to say that although the crowd has been held off by the late decision of whether the game would be played or not, the grandstands are now almost half full. The bleachers are loyal, of course, and packed solid, and have been even in the rain. And the sky has cleared up enough so that we feel confident there won't be rain during the game this afternoon. Now we've got Al Shack out in the pitcher's box now, and he and Glenn, the Yankee catcher, are trying to decide where to put the ball. And he Shack threw it, and it came up here on the second tier behind home plate where we're speaking. Again, this fifth game is being played at the Polo Grounds on the Manhattan side of the Harlem River, and we can see the huge bulk of the Yankee Stadium looming up across the canal on the other side in the Bronx, where we move to tomorrow if the Giants win this game today and it goes to 3-2. And again, the New York Giants here at the Polo Grounds are the home team. Again, they're dressed in their white uniforms, and they will field first and, of course, will bat last as the innings go on. We all know the Giants won their first game of the series yesterday by a score of 7-3 with Hubble pitching after they'd lost the first 3 games, and their cause up to then seemed almost hopeless. We couldn't help but notice that the team has looked a great deal peppier in batting and fielding practice this morning. Old Luke was out there batting them around to the infield. The boys were on their toes. They just pulled the tarpaulin off about 15 minutes ago. The infield looks very good. The attendants are now working on it, but they still can't get Shack out of the pitcher's box. But I think the feeling among the many fans and the hot stove experts that we find in every office or factory or farm undoubtedly is, as we start the fifth game today, that even with yesterday's win, the odds are terrifically heavy against the Giants, especially with the Yanks as their opponents. And if they should and could pull this series out of the fire now, when they're 3 down, well, it would be the most amazing comeback in World Series history. The attendant finally got Shack off the pitcher's box, but no, he's going back now. He's going to argue the point. He's pushing aside the attendant's tools, and he's going to pitch, but the catcher has now left home plate. We see 2 southpaws warming up just one to each side of home plate. A long, lanky southern boy from Tennessee with a big blue 16 on his back. He stands 6 feet 4 inches. He has somewhat prominent hearing appendages. They call him Ears. His name is Cliff Melton, or Mountain Music, the freshman star of the Giants, who is slated to start pitching this 5th game. And on the other side of the plate, warming up and watching Shaq over one shoulder to be sure he doesn't get into any trouble, is a smaller built lad, also a southpaw, shooting his ball in very easy now to the catcher with a big 11 on the back of his gray uniform. Lefty Gomez, who pitched the first game of the World Series, who's never lost a game in the World Series, who won against Hubble 8-1 in the first game of this 1937 series. NBC's microphone is again in their box directly behind home plate at the edge of the second tier, looking out through the mesh screen. And with us are those two redoubtable redheads who flash you the play inning by inning. Tom Manning of Cleveland, veteran baseball describer, and that soft drawling Florida and Cincinnati lad, Red Barber of station WLW. Shaq is getting a nice hand now for his endeavors, and he's got... The attendants have just this moment clean home plate, nice and white, and Shaq comes with his spikes and covers it all up again. And with our two redheads is the imperturbable, impartial Phi Beta Kappa scholar of baseball, Warren Brown, sports editor of the Chicago Herald-Examiner, who comes in between the innings to translate the action he's seen into the baseball meaning that he knows. Well, now the diamond's empty, except for the two pitchers warming up. We'll hear the national anthem in a few moments, and then the teams will trot out on the field, and we'll hear the roar that starts the 5th game. Before that takes place, I'd like to turn you to Warren Brown to give us the lineups, any changes, anything that he's found out digging around the clubhouse and the dugouts this morning. But first, Warren, we've been through 4 games up to now. What deduction or deductions could you make concerning the 4 games that we've seen played so far?
Well, George, I want to thank you first for all those titles that you've given me. It seems as though each day that I come up here, you promote me a little bit higher. Now, getting back to your question about the deductions, the one outstanding characteristic of the World Series of 1937 to date has been the diversity of the playing conditions, weather and track conditions, if I might use that expression. The first game across the Harlem River at the Yankee Stadium was played under a rather excessively hot circumstances. It was very muggy, sultry, and there was plenty of perspiration out on the brows of the players and on the gentlemen of the radio and the press in back of us, no doubt. Then we ran through a couple of cold days, and today, as George Hicks has told you, there was even a reasonable doubt about the possibility of a game at all until Judge Landis came out here a little after noon and decided that the game must go on. From the point of view of the New York Yankees, the delay or the playing of the game did not make a great deal of difference, since their pitcher, Vernon Gomez, who has not started since the first game of the series, had sufficient rest for all practical purposes. On the other hand, the New York Giants, I have no doubt, would have welcomed the postponement, because the postponing of the game today would have given their pitcher, Cliff Melton, an additional day's rest, and we all remember that Melton has already appeared twice in the World Series in a comparatively few days. Looking back at the 4 games that have been played, it is rather interesting to note that going into this game, the 5th, this afternoon, the New York Yankees, who were characterized going into the series as a very powerful team with more than a suspicion of good pitching, have also appeared in the guise of fielding marvels. Up until the present time, the Yankees have not made an error in the series. That is rather a remarkable situation. The Giants, on the other hand, who built their reputation in their National League race on pitching and team spirit and a sturdy defense, have made, well, not many errors, although they did have a wholesale production in 2 innings of 2 different games, in which they made 3 errors in an inning on 2 occasions of the 9 that are now charged against them. Consequently, that has been a little bit of a surprise. There has been a little surprise, too, I think, considering the fact that the Polo Grounds, where the game is being played today, and the Yankee Stadium, which is the home of the American League champions, have both been productive through the regular season of a great many home runs. So far, we have seen but 2 home runs, and the Yankees have had both of them. It just happened that neither one of the home runs, Tony Lazzari's in the first game and Lou Gehrig's homer yesterday, have made any material difference in the ball game. There have been no heroic home runs, in other words. Nothing to win the game or nothing to bring the crowd stirring to its feet. Out in direct center field, Al Schacht is leading a cheering section of the bleachers, much after the manner of a football crowd. And truly, this is ideal weather for football. And it's quite a commentary on Schacht's quick wit that he realized that and went out there in the deep center field to lead the bleachers into a cheer. I think he's getting ready now to get them started again, so let's listen to it. Now that, I should say, is rather handily done. And while I dare say that the undergraduates in the center field bleacher sections of the Polo Grounds, it's difficult competing with this cheering, but we must go on. The show must go on. I think that Schacht, at such a time as he completes his splendid career as a baseball comedian, can certainly wind up at Yale or California or Stanford or Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Illinois, any place, Duke, that you may think of, and take up life's work as a cheerleader. I don't know of any college cheering section that was able to make so much noise and make the noise in unison with so little rehearsing as this crowd in these center field bleachers at the Polo Grounds. That, I believe, is a tribute to the directing genius, Al Schacht. Now, getting back to our baseball, we have heard, and undoubtedly you have read in the last several days, about the laxity of hitting on the part of the Giants. I was just looking here at a composite box score of the 4 games, and I noticed, curiously enough, that there are only 4 difference in the hits at the present time. The Yankees have made 34 hits, and the Giants have made 30. But the balance of power, nevertheless, has been strongly on the side of the Yankees. And going into today's game, which is the last at the Polo Grounds, regardless of what transpires here, the Yankees are really the favorites. They have to be regarded as the favorites. They've won 3 out of the 4 games. They need but 1 more to gain the World Championship. Over the amplifying system at the present time, the announcer has been giving you the batteries, which will be Cliff Melton and Harry Danning for the Giants, and Vernon Gomez and Bill Dickey for the Yankees. Yesterday, Harry Danning, along with Hank Lieber, who got into the Giant lineup for the 2nd time, did most of the hitting that turned back the tide of Yankee power and made it necessary to play today's game, the national anthem. Game is almost ready to begin. The Giants, the home club, are rushing out of the field. So I'm going to turn you over now to the very efficient services of Tom Manning, give you the lineup and the detail of the ball game. All right, Tom.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Warren Brown. Here's the lineup. In the field for the first half of the first inning will be the National League entry, the Giants. Moore, left field. Bartell, short. Hot, third base. Here's a change in the lineup. Ripple, right field, batting ahead of center fielder Lieber. So that'll be Moore, Bartell, Hot, Ripple, Lieber. McCarthy, first base. Danning, catch. Whitehead, second. And Melton, long, lean left-hander in the box. For the Yanks, Cosetti at short. Rolfe, DiMaggio, center. Gehrig, first. Dickey, catch. Hogue, left field. Selkirk, right. Lazari, second. Gomez, pitch. The umpires behind the plate will be Ormsby. First base will be Barr. Second base, Basil. And at third base, it'll be Stewart. Everybody in position. Dick Bartell just tossed the ball to Melton. Umpire Red Ormsby has adjusted his paraphernalia. Frankie Cosetti steps into the batter's box. And the windup, the ball game is on. The pitch. It's a long drive going deep into left field. Back. Joe Moore is back under it, and he takes it. One away. Frankie Cosetti stepping into that first ball pitched. And it was a long drive to left field that Joe Moore was off under and caught for the first out. Frankie Cosetti had one hit out of 17 times at bat. Now third baseman, Red Rolfe. Red has 5 singles out of 17 times at bat. Here's the pitch. It's a strike. Ball. Cliff Melton, left-hander in the box, standing, catching, and Rolfe, the Yank third baseman, left-hand batter, is at the plate. Inside, ball. Ball one, and strike one. Rolfe pumping that old bat up and down, 1-1 coming. It's a base hit between third and short into left field. Joe Moore retrieves the ball. Rolfe Brown's first. The throw is to Bartell at second, and it's a single for Rolfe. Joe DiMaggio coming up. Something wrong with Joe's bat after walking clear up to the plate. Oh, he threw the wrong bat away. Each of the players, you know, come up there with 2 or more bats. Joe tossed the wrong one over the dugout and hadn't noticed it until he got clear up to the plate. Now he's in there ready to go. It's the first inning of this 5th game of the World Series. Yanks batting, Rolfe on first, 1 out. Melton takes the stretch, and here it is. It's a high fly ball to short center field. Everybody's after it. Everybody's after it. And finally, Whitehead makes a beautiful running catch way out in center field. Whitehead taking that ball for the putout. And that's the roar of the crowd is for Whitehead. That looked awful bad for a moment. With center fielder Lieber coming in. Burgess Whitehead dashed out there, and at the last moment he made up his mind to keep on going, and he grabbed that ball with his back to the plate. Larrabee, Lou Gehrig of Columbia coming up. Joe DiMaggio had 5 out of 17. Now we have Gehrig at bat. Gehrig has 3 out of 13. Some spectator let go of the Sunday newspaper, and there's plenty of paper flying out there in center field, and 3 of the groundkeepers are running out there chasing. It looked like a flock of ducks when it first came out of the stands. Well, they've retrieved the last bit of it now, and there's a round of applause for them. Boys are still running off the field. We were detained while they retrieved that blowing paper out there. Lou Gehrig at bat, 2 out, and we have Rolfe on first base. Here's the pitch. Strike. A sharp breaking curveball that had Gehrig pulling away from the plate. It caught the inside corner, and Ormsby called it a strike. 2 out. Rolfe is on first. Here it is. Outside. Ball 1 and strike 1. This is the 3rd appearance in this series of Cliff Melton. Opened the 2nd game and relieved in the 3rd. Ball 1, strike 1. Play at first base. It's not even close. Ball 1 and strike 1 on Lou Gehrig, the batter. The Yanks are batting in the 1st inning. Again, Melton tosses over to McCarthy. That time, Rolfe was standing there with his foot on the bag. Heavy wind blowing. Another play at first. This one's closer, but he's safe. The heavy wind blowing, and it's a distinct advantage for the left-hand hitters. There's a stretch, and here it is. Outside, almost a wild pitch. Nice stop by catcher Harry Danning. Ball 2 and strike 1.
Danning stands there with his glove off, now rubbing the ball up before tossing it out there to Cliff Melton. It's Lou Gehrig batting, ball 2 and strike 1. 2 out, and Rolfe is on first base. A stretch coming. Ball 3, that's a wild pitch. He's going down the throw. He slides. He's safe. I believe that will be scored as a wild pitch. We'll get the official decision for you in a moment. That count, ball 2 and strike 1. Cliff Melton let go with a curved ball. It was low outside. And Rolfe went to second. Now the count is 3-1. The official scores are still wild pitch is correct. Here we go. Ball 4, another sweeping curved ball, missed the outside corner. With a runner on second base, Cliff Melton was taking no chance in slamming that ball down through the middle to Gehrig. With the count 3-1, he threw a slow, sweeping curved ball that was outside. That brings Bill Dickey to bat. Bill has 4 hits out of 16 times at the plate. First baseman McCarthy playing way back, giving Gehrig a big lead. Here it is. Strike called. Sharp breaking curve ball that Melton had in there over the inside corner to Bill Dickey, a left-hand batter. Rolfe is on second. Gehrig is on first. It's the first inning. No score. 2 men out. Outside. Ball 1 and strike 1. Red Rolfe is on second. Gehrig on first. 2 out. Ball 1, strike 1. Pitch. It's a top ball down first. It's ball and strike 2. Earl Combs, coaching at first base, retrieves that ball. That diamond is well soaked. The only thoroughly dry spot on the diamond there is the pitching rubber and the spot around home plate. Strike 2 and ball 1, ready to go again. 2 out, Rolfe on second, Gehrig on first. Melton takes a stretch. Strike 2 and ball 1. Inside, ball 2. Cliff fairly aimed that ball over the inside to Bill Dickey. Once again, Harry Danning has his big mitt off, standing there rubbing the ball with his bare hands before tossing it out to Melton. Dickey steps out of the batter's box. It's ball 2 and strike 2. 2 men on, 2 men out, a flock of deuces. All right, it's 2 and 2 coming. Strike 3, ball. Shot breaking third ball and Bill Dickey agrees that it was a strike. Just ducked his head and ran for the Yankee dugout. So that's all for the Yanks for the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 base on balls, and no errors. Warren.
Melton certainly worked himself out of a rather difficult position there in this inning, especially pitching to Bill Dickey, who was one of the more powerful hitters in this New York Yankee lineup. I noticed that in the first inning, Melton was throwing more curves, I think, than fastballs. He threw curves almost exclusively to Gehrig when he walked him, and that was about all that Dickey had, save 1 fastball that came in around his ankles. That last curve was a beautiful thing, breaking sharply over the plate, and it fooled Dickey completely. Melton certainly has started out his first inning while he was in a little trouble, with no sign that the 3 appearances which he's been forced to make in this 1937 World Series have cramped his style any. He began with a rush, and now we'll have a look at Gomez making his second appearance in the World Series. Gomez was very effective his first time out over in the Yankee Stadium, and since he is tremendously fast, one of the swiftest pitchers in the American League, this dark day, which is supposed to be ideal for fast pitching, ought to be right down Gomez's alley, much as it is down Melton's. The first giant batter is about at the plate, Tom, so I guess you can take charge again.
No scores yet. We're going into the last half of the first inning, and Joe Moore, left fielder of the Giants, will hit first. He'll get a nice round of applause from the fans here. I believe about 35,000 in the Polo Grounds. Gomez winding up the pitch. It's a base hit into left field. A base hit. Hope fumbled the ball momentarily, picks it up, returns it to Lazzari, and it's a single for Joe Moore. ball. Now he's walking clear into the pitching rubber, rubbing it up before handing it to Gomez. That was a line drive that shortstop Frankie Cosetti leaped far to his right for, but missed it by several feet. Ball went bounding out to left field where it was retrieved by Holt. All right, we have Dick Martell up and strike one, swinging. Martell is a right-hand batter. Moore has 6 hits out of 18 times at bat, and Martell has 4 out of 17. Gomez takes a stretch, and here it is. The high fly ball to left field. Hogue is under it, running in, still coming in. Makes the catch, he's out. Ball was hit pretty hard, but there's a wind blowing in from left field. Hogue started to slow up for that catch, then had to hurry a little bit to catch up with it. They still have Moore on first, 1 man out, and Mel out. Left-hand batter and third baseman coming up. Mel has 3 hits out of 17 times at bat. Strike one. Took a healthy cut from way back at that ball. We have no scores yet. We're playing the last half of the first inning. The Giants batting 1 out, and Moore is on first base. Inside. Ball 1 and strike 1. Lefty Gomez pitching for the Yankees, and Bill Dickey behind the bat. Gomez ready. Here it is. Foul up and back. Up and back from home plate. A bit of a scramble going on for it, and it makes the count on Mellott. Strike 2 and ball 1. We have right fielder Jimmy Ripple coming up next. Notice how fast Gomez is pitching. Strike 3. Mellott going for a bad ball high on the outside. That was really a bad ball high on the outside, and Mel started a swing, couldn't hold, followed through, and looked just a little bad on that strikeout. 2 gone. Jimmy Ripple coming up. He has 3 hits out of 13 trips to the plate. It's a base hit in the right center field. Moore rounding second. DiMaggio has the ball to throw at the third. The throw is cut off by Frankie Cosetti, and it bounds away from Cosetti over to the pitcher's box where Rolfe pounces on it. Ripple stopping at first. Moore on third base, Ripple on first, and Lieber coming up. Both of those giant hits were ringing line drives. The one by Moore over Cosetti's head, this one by Ripple over Lazzari's head. Maggio came up with that ball and cut loose of it quick, but Cosetti, playing heads up, seeing that there was no chance of getting Moore at third base, cut that ball so as to prevent Ripple from going to second and be in a scoring position. Hank Lieber, you know, it's a right-hand batter. He has 2 hits out of 7 times up. 2 very important hits they were, too. The stretch and the pitch outside, ball 1. Lefty Gomez in the box for the Yanks. Outfielders are playing plenty deep. Here it is. Strike. He swings hard and misses. Ball 1 and strike 1. Hank Lieber stepped out of the batter's box for a moment. Tense moments indeed. 2 out, runners on first and third, 1 and 1 coming. Ball 2. That ball was over, but just a little bit high. Ball 2 and strike 1. Merle Hogue is playing way out near the 400-foot sign. DiMaggio has moved out too. They're playing direct position though, left, center, and right. All right, ball 2 and strike 1. It's a high infield fly near first base. On the line is Gehrig waiting, and Gehrig takes it. That's all for the Giants in the first inning. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Warren.
The thing worth commenting on in that inning is the change of tactics on the part of the New York Giants. Rather, it is a return to the tactics that they used while they were in their regular play in the National League season. Joe Moore, their leadoff man, has established a record down through the years of liking to take a whack at that first ball. We've been watching him all through this series, and Joe has been letting the first ball go by more often than not. Today, perhaps Gomez thought he was going right on through with that and came in there with it, and Moore got his base hit. The other marked change is their lack of respect today, or at least in this first inning, for the throwing arms of the Yankee outfielders. You may have remembered from listening to the broadcast of the other games that the Giants seldom cared to take that extra base to today. Moore kept right on going in spite of the fact that the ball was hit at DiMaggio, who was supposed to have the best throwing arm in the major leagues. All right, Tom, they're ready to go again.
Merle Hogue, the first hitter, right-hand batter, the wind-up and the pitch. Ball one. Fastball outside. Merle has 5 hits out of 16 times at bat. No score as yet. First man up for the Yanks in the second inning. Here it is. Inside, and it's ball 2. Sweeping curveball that Merle Hogue, right-hand batter, watched all the way, then stepped away from it as it was too close and inside. Ball 2, the count. Strike. Fastball right down the alley. Cliff Melton pulled the string on that one. Ball 2 and strike 1. Here it comes. There's a long drive going deep into right field. High up in the right field bleachers for a home run. A home run by Merle Hogue, the left fielder of the Yankees. That ball by Merle Hogue, a right-hand hitter. The count, ball 2 and strike 1, was in the upper deck, well over in right field. The blow traveling perhaps about 450 feet. 1-0 in favor of the Yanks. Selkirk, right fielder, left-hand batter is up. Ball 1. Fastball that knocks Selkirk away from the plate. We're playing the first half of the second inning. The score 1-0 in favor of the American League entry. The result of that mighty home run by Merle Hogue. Cliff Melton, southpaw, pitching. Ball 1 the count. Ball 2. Another fastball inside. And the count is 2-0. Tony Lazzari hanging around. He'll bat next. Ball 2. Strike. Fastball right down the middle and fell high on the count on Georgie Selkirk. Ball 2 and strike 1. George steps away from the plate. Wipes his hands on his trousers. Back in there, ready to go. Ball 2 and strike 1. Bounding ball down towards second. Whitehead comes up with it. The throw. He's out. Whitehead to McCarthy. George Selkirk grounding out. 1 gone. Nobody on. Lazaria. Tony has 5 hits out of 12 times at bat. Getting a nice round of applause. Teddy Selkirk had 4 hits out of 15 times at bat. Right was area. Strike. Fastball just above the knees, over the outside corner. First half of the second inning. Foul ball. Line drive into the right field corner. That's strike 2 on Lazzari. Low line smash that had the spectators scattering. Here it comes. Foul up and back. Hits the screen right in front of the microphone here. The score is 1-0 in favor of the New York Yankees. First half of the second inning, 1 man out. Nobody on. Lazzari at bat, and strike 2. The windup. Strike 3 called. A beautiful curveball. Tony Lazzari knew it. Just bowed his head as much as to say absolutely correct and walked away. Both of those strikeouts, Dickey and Lazzari, no question in the mind of the batter. They were very definite in their own minds that it was the 3rd strike. Now we have Gomez coming up. 2 out, nobody on. Lefty bats and throws left-handed. 2 out, nobody on, and here we go. Ball 1, sweeping curve ball. Lefty Gomez started to swing at that. Harry Danning turned around, claiming that it was a strike, but Ormsby said nay. Here we go. Foul, strike 1. Ball 1 and strike 1. Curve ball inside. Gomez swinging hard, tapped the ball. First half of the second inning. 1-0 in favor of the Yankees. 2 out and nobody on. Strike 2 the count.
Ball. There's a mix-up on the decision on those balls and strikes there. He called that first one a ball, but they have strike 2 and ball 1 on the board. Now it's a tip foul, so it doesn't make any difference now. That first pitch that Danning claimed might have been a strike, Ormsby held up his left hand, which means that it was a ball. Makes no difference. It's strike 2 and ball 1. Here it comes. Strike 3, called. Nice sharp breaking curveball that Gomez allowed to pass by. And it's no 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors for the Yanks in the second. 1.
And the home run that we talked about in advance of the game has finally made its appearance in the World Series at a point where it really means something. Merle Hoag's line shot over there into the upper deck of the right field stand, starting the Yankees off 1 run to the good, is the first home run of the 3 made in the series that had material effect upon the game. At the present time, except for that home run, Melton seems to be pitching very well out there. He has his control back. He doesn't even seem to be as unsteady as he was in the first inning. Against the right-hand hitters, it looks to me as though he's been pitching outside of them, particularly to Hoag, to keep him from pulling into left. But the California boy simply stuck out his bat and poked the ball into the right field stand. He's got his home run over there, so I guess it doesn't make much difference. If they're going to hit him, they're going to hit him, whether you pitch inside or outside. Here the Giants coming up for their turn, and it's your turn, Tom.
It'll be Johnny McCarthy, the Giant first baseman, leading off in the last half of the second. McCarthy, Danning, and Whitehead coming up. For the late tuners in again, that Yankee outfield is Hoag left, DiMaggio center, Selkirk in right. Gehrig at first, Lazzari second, Rossetti short, Rolfe third, and the battery is Lefty Gomez and Bill Dickey. Umpire Ormsby behind the plate calls play ball, and here we go. A foul back, strike 1. Johnny McCarthy is a tall, lanky boy. Bats and throws left-handed. Mack has had 4 hits out of 15 times at bat. A bounding ball down between first and second. Lazzari has it, the throw to Gehrig, and he's out. One away, nobody on. Harry Danning coming up. Harry Danning, having replaced Gus Mancuso. Gus was injured. Little finger of his right hand. Danning making a very acceptable substitute. Right-hand batter, the first pitch. Outside, ball 1. Last half of the second inning, the score 1-0 in favor of the Yankees. The Giants at bat, 1 out, nobody on. Danning hitting, and it's ball 1. Foul ball. Hard smash down right field, curving into the stands. It's ball 1 and strike 1. Here comes strike 2. Danning went awful bad on that one. He swung a split second too late. Wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty tough to see that ball out there. Gomez, speedball pitcher, and it's awful dark here in New York. Strike 3. At the front of the ball, felt higher. About a hop on it for the 3rd strike. That's the 2nd strikeout for Gomez. Melvin Ott and Harry Danning. Burgess Whitehead coming up. Burge has 3 hits out of 12 times at bat. Right-hand hitter. Giant half of the second, 2 out, nobody on. High fly ball, right field, looks like a Texas League hit. It is. Texas League hit. Whitehead is rounded first, and he's going to second. There's the throw. He's safe, a 2-bagger. That was a high pop fly down in right field. Gehrig was off with a crack of the bat. Selkirk also. Both of them came over there, and neither Gehrig or Selkirk got within 20 feet of that ball. It was finally retrieved by Selkirk, flipped into the infield, and it's a 2-base hit for Whitehead. They have the pitcher, Cliff Melton, coming up. This being a cold day, it's going to take the pitchers quite some time to get up to the plate because they're wrapped in their heavy sweater and a big blanket at the completion of each inning. Bill Dickey Gomez and umpire Ormsby, all standing halfway between the plate and the box, discussing something, and Ormsby is looking at the ball. Everything's okay. They're going back to their positions now. Gomez has his glove off, rubbing that ball up. Melton steps in the box. We're ready to go. Ball one. Sweeping curveball is high and outside. It's the giant half of the second inning. 2 outs. Whitehead on second. Strike. Cliff took a mighty cut at that one. It was ball one and strike one. One and one, the pitcher batting. Strike two, he swings hard again. Lefty Gomez has got a lot of speed out there this afternoon. Every afternoon, too. Ball is too high, a change of pace offering. Tried to fool Cliff Melton with that one. It was strike two and ball two. 2-2. Strike three, he's out. With Whitehead on second base, Gomez fans Melton. This game, you know, is coming to you from the Polo Grounds of New York City, the 5th game of the World Series between the Giants and the Yankees. And it is being sent to you over the combined red and blue network of the National Broadcasting Company. We pause now for station identification.
This is station WMAQ, Chicago.
Back at the Polo Grounds, the NBC booth in the upper deck, watching the progress of the game between the New York Yankees and the New York Giants. The Yankees at the present time are leading by 1-0 because of a home run delivered in the second inning by Merrill Hogue, their left fielder. Both Lefty Gomez and Cliff Melton, the pitchers, are progressing very favorably at the present time. There is no criticism to make of their pitching. Yankees are at bat now, and Tom Manning.
First half of the third inning, the top again, Frankie Crosetti. Strike one, he cuts hard at the first ball pitch. Last time up, Frank fired to left field. Also, that time at bat, he hit the first ball pitch. Strike one, inside, and it's ball one. Ball one and strike one. Crosetti, you know, is a known left field hitter. We have Moore and Gleaver moved over slightly toward left field. Tip foul, strike two. It's a high fastball that Cliff had in there, about letter high. Crosetti taking a toe hold in the swing. It's strike two and ball one. Red Rolfe coming up next. Ball wind up. There it is. The bounding ball down third. Melvin has a big hop to throw. He's out. Crosetti is protesting that that ball landed in foul territory. There's quite a protest down there. Red Rolfe and Crosetti are both kicking to umpire Ormsby. Now Artie Fletcher, Joe McCarthy's first assistant, is walking in toward home plate, and Mr. Crosetti is arguing rather loudly. Let's see if we can pick them up. Oh, you're afraid to pick them up, huh? Okay. Well, Fletcher and Ormsby are both shaking their heads at each other now. That's the put out. That's one of those cases where the boy's in blue and he says you're out. Well, you're just out. One gone and nobody on. Rolfe at bat, left-hand hitter. Single the last time up. Ball one, a curveball that gets away from the outside corner. Strike called. That play of Crosetti's is rather hard to understand whether Crosetti was claiming interference by Danning or whether the ball hit the edge of home plate in foul territory.